Hello everyone and welcome to the next series of Bobble Pod. And this series is going to be covering social media marketing, and I'm really interested and really excited to be getting into this one. But before we begin, I'm Singh, CEO of Bobble Digital.
I'm Claire Daniels, CEO of Trio Media.
And I'm Anush Mnatsakanyan, CEO of Burnby.
Don't forget to like, follow and subscribe both our YouTube and podcast channels across Spotify and Apple Podcasts and any other major streaming platforms. Details will be shared throughout the podcast elements and at the end. We're going to follow on from what we discussed last month, which is trends, and a lot of the things we talked about in particular was social media. So I'm really excited to get into the mix of this. But first episode is going to talk about what, then we're going to talk about why and how, and then do a summary as we usually follow on. So to start off with this episode, what is social media marketing? I'm going to get straight into it now.
Hi everyone, so I'll pick up this section. So when we look at what is social media marketing, so it's basically the promotion of a product, service, business, brand or person on any social media platform. The top 5 main ones I'd say to be considering as part of any strategy would be LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. And even within Instagram itself, it's its own kind of microsystem of social platforms where you can have video or you can have stories or you can have the main feed. So there's loads of potential of what's out there. So when we start looking at using social media as part of a marketing strategy, the possibilities that it provides are endless. This is the place that people are spending their time on day in, day out. The amount of social media that's consumed on a daily basis, people kind of chopping and changing between platforms. Certainly, I know I look at Instagram in the morning. I'll then be looking at LinkedIn during the day, might check in on Twitter. On the evening, I'll have a quick check in on Facebook, spend some more time on Instagram, and then I'll do a bit of scrolling on TikTok. So each channel's kind of got their own place depending on what mood you're in and what it is that you're looking to do. And for example, there's such a broad range of the things you can do and the purposes you can use those social media channels for. So for example, LinkedIn is a very professional platform. It is there to network with other business professionals. That was its primary kind of reason it was created. And although some people complaining that it's getting a bit more like Facebook because people are sharing their personal lives, your profile is very much your professional profile. It's like an online CV for you. And the outcomes and the engagements that you tend to get from LinkedIn do all tend to be for a business purpose. Then we've got platforms such as Instagram and Facebook that are a lot more personal, especially Facebook being personal. Very much now, I would say, like the place that people stay connected with families that they don't see so much because it's the broadest age range on there. And you have a lot of the older generation spending time on Facebook. So that's kind of a really broad family and friends space. And then Instagram kind of does it all. It can be really great for businesses and brands, but also a lot of people like to spend their time on there personally. And as I mentioned earlier, the fact that it's made itself so sticky, if you're fed up of scrolling through the feed, you can then go to stories. If you're fed up with stories, you can go to reels. And there's a lot of different types of content on that platform. One of the main things that we're seeing on Instagram is actually the move towards more and more video content. And this has been done to rival the likes of TikTok. And we've spoken about it many times before on this podcast about the rise of TikTok, especially over 2020 and when everyone was in lockdown, and what that then means for businesses and the potential to tap into there. But it all comes back to the type of content and actually the move towards video content when we're looking at social media. And certainly now when I'm speaking to people and having conversations, we go, if you're thinking about social, you need to think about video. And obviously, Anush, as our resident video expert, I'm keen to hear your take on this in terms of using video as part of a social media marketing strategy.
Sure. Hey, everyone again. So marketing is not the same as it was earlier. We all know that with increase of online social media channels nowadays, none of the businesses can do promotion of their products or services without the social media. So the question here is which social media to pick for your business, but not doing that offline, because you can't really survive nowadays without an online presence. But with the increase of so much social media channels and so much businesses doing promotion in their social media channels, nowadays it's impossible. It's moreover, let's say, possible to get lost in the channels and nobody can see your content. That's why you need to be very creative and you need to start using very unique content for your business. And that's where actually video is coming to help, because with video, you can actually create a content which has visuals, which has text, which has images. It has like everything all combined together with the movements that can be more attention grabbing than just the text and the images. And as in the past 2 years, people started to use a lot of videos from their content. Nowadays, you need to be more creative and you need to really understand which types of videos could help you in which cases. And that's why actually sometimes we can divide videos into organic videos and paid videos, which Mani, of course, will talk about later about paid media. And I usually divide videos into two groups: the ones that you can create by your own, by using just your smartphone and your creativity, and the ones that you need really professional help, the ones that like explainer videos, more like promo ads, how-to videos, more like demo videos, the ones that really need a video marketing guidance, and so you can create and be sure that these kind of videos could be helpful. Of course, you can hire a professional videographer to join your team, which would be better if they have some kind of marketing background, or you can start cooperating with a professional video marketing team that can help you in these cases. But whatever you do, first of all, you need to create a strategy to understand like how to get started, because each social media channel has their own requirements and specifications. So you need to be sure, like, if you're creating this video, will that be helpful for you? And where it's better to share this video to get that awesome results. And for everyday cases, of course, you can have the stories, the reels that Claire mentioned, bunch of behind the scenes videos where people can see you and the team working, can understand and deeply see your working style, get some kind of examples. You can share, of course, educational content, and this all you can do by your own. Or like, I don't know, create a live sessions, webinars, create podcasts. All of that are part of the video marketing, which you can do by your own and share online. But when it comes to paid media, it comes to promotion, it's better you go with a professional team and which can help you to create professional ads.
Yeah, and just to jump on that, I think when I look at social media marketing and what it is, I split it into two key areas. You've got the organic social media, which is everything that Claire's been discussing and what everything Anush has been discussing in terms of creating that video content and pushing it out to your audience. Think as organic, it goes to, the people that follow you across your individual pages, whether that's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. But there are platforms and, formats which you can upload content that gives you more organic reach within there, like Instagram Reels, TikTok posts, and then you got LinkedIn from your personal platform, which can give you a lot more organic reach naturally. Paid is a little bit more of an art where you've got to look at breaking down your audience. This is something that Claire mentioned earlier. So paid social media is taking your content or existing content and amplifying that to a new or your defined audience of who you want to target. And you can do that across different and many ways. That's why creating and understanding a social media strategy is very, very important, because you need to consider paid social as part of your strategy to support your organic reach. When you look at paid social, what we mean by paid social is if you've ever been on a platform like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, and you're going through the feed, it'll say sponsored or promoted in the top left corner, or some element on that post, it'll say sponsored ad. You'll see that over time. You go on, let's say Google, and you search for something at the top, it'll say, black letters ad first. And you see those elements. So naturally these ads look like they're part of the organic content, but they're targeted to you because that company, whether it's a B2C trying to target, business to consumer or business to business, depending on the platform, you fall as part of their audience demographic who they're trying to target. The benefit of paid social is it gives you a lot more reach and you can define your audience better. However, it comes at a price because you have to pay to get that reach, whereas organically you're creating that content and you're getting that organic engagement naturally, and you just got to focus on the strategy and the content planning with whether you do it in-house or with a particular partner. Paid social gives you elements, and what we as an agency now, really encourage our clients to do is to give us video content more than anything else to push across paid social, whether that's LinkedIn campaign ads, that's like a key channel to push out. Again, it does push it out from a company page, but, it goes across everyone's in feed. You look at the different platforms like, Facebook and Instagram, TikTok that are very video content focused. So if you want to, stand out from the crowd, you got to move away from more image based content to more video. And these are just short 5-10 seconds. Elements. So paid video becomes a key platform. So when we talk about, we offer like video advertising as agency, most of it is paid social platforms as well as YouTube and display and other elements. And that's because you've got platforms like Instagram where you can put a video in story, in reels and in feed where most of the content is featured. And it's that kind of paid elements and reach that gives you access to people across the globe. And you can target people by different breakdowns. You can target them by their demographics. So you can select particular ages, genders, location in terms of where they live. So if you're a small business, want to target people within Leeds, then you can just target Leeds as a geo area, and you might want to target people by particular job titles. You can do that. But then on top of that, you can target people with specific interests. So if you're an e-commerce clothing brand, you can target people that have an interest in shopping and fashion or particular types of products that you might sell on your website. All this has a key impact to, amplifying your paid social activity. But just bear in mind that the organic content that you create across key platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Messenger to Instagram and Facebook, a platform itself, that content can be created. And each platform, and I've mentioned a lot there from LinkedIn to TikTok, they have their own platforms. Facebook, Instagram and Messenger are in one platform called Facebook Business Manager. Twitter is known as Twitter Ads. Snapchat is known as Snap Ads. TikTok Ads is the platform for TikTok. And then you've got LinkedIn Campaign Manager for LinkedIn. And you might think, oh, that's a lot of platforms that I need to learn. However, the structure they follow is very similar. You start off with a campaign and your objective. That objective might be traffic, campaign, elements that goes through to targeting your audience. So that's the second element. And and this is why it's important as part of your social media strategy to find your audience, and then it's creating the ads. And that content can come from the video content you've created organically, as Anush has discussed, or any other kind of content you've created, as Claire discussed, as part of your organic reach, or any specific content you've discussed to, get more visitors or traffic to your website to drive conversions.
And I think it really comes down to the sweet spot being a combination of all three of those elements. You need to create organic content. Video should be a very key part of all of that, and then supporting any content you're creating and the channels you're using with a paid strategy to actually get in front of your ideal target audience. And over the next couple of episodes, we're going to be delving more into the why and how of actually getting involved with social media. And so to conclude this one, I thought it'd be fun just to ask everybody here, what is your favourite social media platform? So I'm going to go to Anush first.
Okay, so I like two platforms, one for professional use and the other one for my personal use. For professionals, I would definitely go with LinkedIn because there is a really good educational and great content that you can learn on LinkedIn. By just scrolling your feed, you can get a lot of good information and use for your future business growth. And I am getting a lot of customers on LinkedIn, which is great. That's why I recommend a lot of businesses to start using LinkedIn, especially if you are B2B companies, if you're service providers. LinkedIn are really helpful for that reasons. And more for my professional use, I would definitely go with Instagram because I like watching those reels, stories, some images people are posting from their travelings, and it's fun. It's sometimes fun because you can travel with by watching just someone